Hi, this screencast is the second in three parts for doing dimensional analysis or converting units. And so in the first screencast, we looked at how you would do just straight up units where you have a unit on the top and a unit on the bottom and using what is a conversion factor. So if you didn't see that one, go back and watch dimensional analysis part 1 and then come back and watch this one. But if you have, here we go. Alright, so if you have access to the PowerPoint on your resources, go ahead. If you want to watch somebody else do a conversion in a video, you can watch them with the link that's on this page. Otherwise, you get to watch me. So in the part 1 of the video, we talked about which race was longer, 26.2 miles or 35-kilometer race, and we knew that 1 kilometer is 1 kilometer is 0.625 miles. And so you set up the fractions so that your units canceled. In the first one you have 35 kilometers on the top and a kilometer on the bottom of the next fraction. So then you take 35 times the 0.625 miles and you get 21.9 miles in that case. And the bottom one where you have the 26.2 miles, you put miles on the bottom of the next fraction so that the miles cancel, and you then take 26.2 divided by 0.625 miles, and you can ignore the ones, and then you multiply or you divide and you get 41.9 kilometers. Alright, so we used a defined conversion factor to cancel the units, and they can be flipped to cancel what we start with. We had the information that 1 kilometer was 0.625 miles, and we set it up either on the top or the bottom depending on what unit we had to start with. Okay, so if you're driving on the interstate and you're doing 70 miles per hour, and let's figure out what that is in feet per second. So what is different in this problem is we're adding another level of complexity, where instead of just taking one unit and changing, we're going to change 2 units, because 75 miles per hour is miles over hours, and we're going to convert that into feet over seconds. So we're essentially going to convert miles to feet and hours to seconds. So it's 2 parts, but we're going to combine it up into one long problem. So here's what it looks like if you were to do this problem, and I'm going to show you step by step in the next screen. You have 70 miles over hours, and you need to convert first miles to feet and then hours to seconds. And so we can do that, like I said, in one long problem. You're going to see that you have 70 miles over hours. You take your miles and you're going to cancel that in your next factor. We can find that 5,280 feet is equal to 1 mile. And you have then you have feet, which is the first part of your problem, and we're going to convert hours into minutes. So you see hours is on the bottom of the first fraction, so we're going to put hours on the top over here so that they can cancel. And we know that 1 hour is 60 minutes. And then in the next fraction we're going to convert minutes to seconds. And so we started with minutes here on the bottom, and minutes will go on the top to convert. And so now for this problem, all you have to do is take the 70 times 5,280 divided by 60 divided by 60, and that gets you an answer of 103 feet per second. It does not matter the order that you change the units in. I chose to do the top unit first. I typically go with the top unit and then change the bottom unit, but it doesn't matter as long as you convert the parts that you're supposed to convert. You'll still get the same answer. So let's break this down in another problem. If you run track, the 100-meter dash, how fast can you go? Usain Bolt ran the 100-meter dash in 9.58 seconds at the Olympics the other year. So if we're going to change the meters per second into something, say, like miles per hour, we would need these factors. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters, 100 centimeters is 1 meter, and 5,280 feet is in 1 mile. Okay? So step 1, let's make that distance per time into one number. We were given that 100 meters in 9.58 centimeters, or I'm sorry, 9.58 seconds. So we're going to divide, and you get 10.4 meters over seconds. So now let's change that into miles per hour, and I've given you the factors here on the bottom of the slide. So you have 10.4 meters per second. Like I said, I typically convert the top one. So meters is on the top over here. So I would have to put meters on the bottom of the next fraction. So I'm going to put 1 meter on the bottom and 100 centimeters on the top. Okay, my meters have canceled. I now have centimeters. Centimeters need to cancel, so I'm going to put it on the bottom of the next fraction, and I'm going to put inches on the top. So 2.54 centimeters on the bottom and 1 inch on the top. Inches is on the top, so I'll put it on the bottom, and I know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. All right. Last step for the distance part, we're going to change feet into miles. Feet is on the top, so I'm going to put feet on the bottom, and I have miles on the top. So I have the first part of this converted. I went from meters to miles. Now I need to change my seconds into hours. So seconds starts off on the problem on the bottom. So I'm going to put seconds in order to cancel it. I'm going to put it on the top, and I know that there are always 60 seconds in 1 minute. Okay, so I'm not done. I want to get to hours. I put my minutes will go on the top of the next fraction and hours on the bottom. So I should have the units that I'm looking for. Let's see. I can check my units. I have meters, I have centimeters, I have inches, I have feet. I'm left with miles. That was the first part. I'm canceling my seconds, I'm canceling my minutes, and I have hours. So I have miles per hour. I do the math. I take the 10.4 times 100 divided by 2.54 divided by 12 divided by 5,280 times 60, and I get 23.3 miles per hour. Now, some people like to take and multiply all the numbers on the top, and some people like to take all the numbers on the bottom and then do the division within that, and that's fine as long as you put the numbers in the correct spot and you do the math correctly. So there will be a third part in this series. If you are ready to move on, go on to that next part. If you're not, you need to go back and rewatch it. There are some additional resources, or go ahead and ask your teacher for some more help.